Page 28, Over the Rainbows, the last piece in the book. On pages 30 and 31, they have some activities for you to try out if you want to try them out. I don't really cover that stuff too much, except I talk about it in the pieces. However, just briefly, let's just cover a few things there. On page 30, at the top, they talk about scale steps. Now, they're using F major here. Let's come down here. The notes they're using is up here, but this is more comfortable. I'm coming down. It doesn't matter where it is on the keyboard, it's here. These are the notes in the F major scale. Typically, when I explain this, I use C major because it's all the white keys. It's just easy to see. F major has one black key in it. But each note in a scale, any scale, is numbered. And they all start with step 1. We don't start with 0. So in F major, F is step 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because 8 is 1 again. Scale steps, and that's as far as they're taking it. I'll take it a step further. And that is any chord built on a step is that number. Chord. So if I take here and I build a chord on step 1, that is a 1 chord. Remember the B flat? 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, 1 chord. That's the number of the chord. And they all work the same way. You see this 5 chord in F happens to be a 1 chord in the key of C, but it's a 5 chord in the key of F. It's a 4 chord in the key of G. Are you confused yet? It just gets better and better. Just keep in mind they're numbered. That's all. They want you to go through then on, I guess they're supposed to look like rainbows and name of the notes. You should know the name of these notes by now. If you don't, you need to go back to book 1 and start through all over again. The names of these notes should be automatic to you by now, in my opinion. Then, top page 31, talking about intervals. Remember, an interval is just the distance between 2 notes, any 2 notes. So you just count them, and the note you're on is 1. We don't start with 0. So it's like here, you got an F and an F. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an interval of an eighth, also known as an octave. Remember an octave is letter to letter. They're all octaves. So yeah, then this note here, that's a second. 1, 2. It doesn't matter that I go this direction. I just count 1, 2. And then from here to here, I go 1, 2, 3. That's a third. So you're just counting the intervals. They all work the same way. Big deal. Then, in the middle of the page, they want you to transpose to a different key. This gets a little interesting here. They're showing you at the top of the page in the 1 flat in the key signature, that's the key of F major. That's this key signature that this piece is in right now. Well, they want you to take it up 1 whole step to the key of G here. And all you do is you simply change every note up a whole step. And you play in the key of G instead of the key of F. The key of F is 1 flat. The key of G has 1 sharp. So when you go up there, you simply play in 1 sharp rather than 1 flat and take all the notes up. So the first note is an F. Look at the top line there, an F. Here. Each note's going to go up a whole step is here. So it's here, and the next note is an octave up, and then the next note is a second down, but remember in the key of G I got F sharps. I got to use the F sharp. And then the next note is a third below that, so it's down here. And then seconds are easy to read because it's the note next to it. You're just going up or down 1 note, and those are easy. And then the last 2 measures, the F, instead of an F, it's a G. And then the D, instead of a D, it's an E. And the last measure, instead of a C, it's a D. So all the notes just went up one step, a whole step. It's the same melody, but in the key of G. Key of F. You can transpose it to any key. Doesn't matter if you follow that same rule. This is a little easier because G and F are right next to each other. You're just going up a whole step. So now I go further away, it's a little more tricky because let's say I go from F to C. Well, that's an interval of a fifth. Well, that means I got to change every note up a fifth. But just take your time with it, you can do it. Instead of an F, I'm starting here. So, and the first one's easy, it's an octave. And then I'm going down a half step. Remember, the key of C has no sharps or flats, okay? And then I'm going down a third, and then up seconds, and then the G, or excuse me, the F here, I go up a second. Actually, you can see in the music it's an octave. Just go down an octave. And then last two notes, instead of a D, I got to go up a fifth, which is here, and to here. So it's in C major, it's that one. It's the same melody in different keys. So you're transposing here. We'll get into it a little more. I don't teach a lot in transposing, but it's nice to know, good to know if you want to understand the theory behind it all. It's kind of fun to work it out. Sometimes you may be accompanying a singer and they can't sing in that key for some reason. You have to transpose it to another key. Well, good luck with that. I've never been able to do that very well. Some people are good at it, but not me. Let's talk over the rainbow. 4/4 time, 4 counts in a measure, quarter note gets a count, 1 flat in the key signature, 1 key of F major. Make sure you can do the F major scale. I got a video on it. Do the beginner part, 1 octave up and down. This isn't exactly beginner music, but when you do the scales, you just take it slow and easy. Just do it 1 octave up and down right now. Right hand first, let's check the notes and the rhythms and all. You're starting here, and then you're reaching up to the octave. So it's 1, 2, 3, then claps. Okay? And you reach down, connect all these notes as best you can. You're moving around, that's all right. And then you have 2 beats of rest to come down, put 4th finger on the B flat. Remember the B flat's in the key signature, and then measure 6, 1 and. Thumb comes down. We just keep moving around and we do that some more. Go down to the bottom of the page. Measure 15, you're here. And again, they like to combine the stabs together. So the last 3 eighth notes, it's and 4 and. On B3, you have an eighth rest. It's not there. You can pencil in an eighth rest if you want. But they're using the bottom staff eighth note to tell you that. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then the last 2 notes is an F and an A, except it has an 8 VA over it. So now you go up here. If you have the notes, you go up. If you don't, you play the highest notes you got. Left hand, broken chords at first. Measure 3 is 4 chord, 1 and 2. And now watch out on measure 4. They're not the same. B3, it's a G. So measure 4 is 1 and 2. Then thumb comes up. And then with the thumb again here, you get away with it here because they're both black keys. So you can come up here. That's right. And then come back out here. 5 and 1 for measure 6. And then measure 7 is a B flat. And then you do that some more. At the bottom, last line, measure 15. It's a dotted, and then here, 1 and 2 and 3. And then you have rest for the rest of the measure. If you want to pencil in the rest, that's fine. They're combining the 2 lines together, the 2 stabs together on the last couple of beats there. I don't like that type of thing, but they did it, so okay, just play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you get a treble clef, and that says LH over. I don't know about the LH over. I guess the right hand's there, and you got to come over it, and then you got to go here. And you're staying here. The fermata, well, with the fermata, if I play it with a metronome, I'll double the half note in the right hand, make it 4 counts instead of 2, and then lift up. When you're playing it, you just feel how long it should last, and then lift up. So then put the hands together. Here, it's here, and then here, and then here. And that note's by itself. And then here. Make sure you hold the right hand down, and then here. It's kind of weird the way it's printed, because on page 28 you get 2 lines of music, and under that, that's the duet part. So you don't play that. So when you're done with the second line, you go to page 29. So it's here, here, and then measure 6 here. That's by itself, and then you do it some more. On the last line, measure 15, you're here. 1 and 2. Now when you play that, right hand comes up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See all those eighth notes together. 2 and 3 and 4 and. So, and as you're playing these, get the left hand up here ready, because these are together. Here. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, and then right hand comes around and does that. Here. Like so, and you end up here. If you have the keys, so if you have the notes. If you don't have these notes, just leave the right hand where it is. That's good enough. Where's the right hand? Here. That's right. Just leave it here. If you want to play down here, if you don't have these, you can play it here if you want. I'll leave that up to you. As far as articulation goes, it's all connected. You can put in the phrasing if you want. At the beginning, they have here. I suggest you connect all that. Connect this left hand as best you can. It's the melody we put in the phrasing. Lift up. Sometimes you get rest, so you have to lift up. But otherwise, put in the phrasing for the melody. Connect everything else. The dynamics, go to the melody wherever it is. The mezzo piano at the beginning, whatever you think sort of soft is. Left hand needs to be very soft. See, and measure, measure 5? That's melody. Now, if you can't bring out one note, you got to play them the same, that's fine. Do that if you have to. What you can do if you want is that D, this is measure 5. The D, you can play that with the right hand if you want. If you want. In fact, that might be better if you did that. So on measure 4, you're here. Just reach down. You're going to lift up. I like that better. Play that with the thumb. And that way you can keep the left hand soft. Now on measure 8, you're soft, you go up to moderately soft and moderately loud. And you're staying moderately loud until the end when you go back down to soft. So measure 16, you're moderately loud here. This is moderately soft. It should be clear to the listener that that note, the quarter note in measure 16, is melody, and that's it. The rest of this is just an afterthought, so keep it softer. Slow down and get softer as you come up together. Now both ends are the same. And when I play that, I still want to hear that. I want to hear them all together. So that's moderately loud. And this is, you can say moderately soft. Go down to soft. And very soft. That's my impression of it. As far as the speed goes, there's all kinds of recordings of this. Somewhere in the middle, they got that flowing gently thing again. somewhere in the middle. Keep it soft and sweet and gentle. They've added pedal, and that's fine. We want the overtones, and we need some help connecting things. But watch out. If I pedal it just like they're showing, this is the way it is. And it's overlapping, as I said, the notes first, then the pedal. Change it after I play the notes. Pedaling measures 6 and 7, and that's fine. This is calmer, not so many overtones, just settle down. So forth. I don't care for the pedaling at all, I really don't. I'm going to make some suggestions here, like in the first measure. That's too much. I'm going to change it on beat 3. I'm going to keep this clean. I don't want both notes. No. Keep it clean. Change it on beat 3. And on the second measure, I lift up on beat 3. I don't pedal the last 2 beats. Here. And then you can pedal it like they're showing measure 3. Change it on beat 3. Again, I want to keep the melody clean, but I want the overtones. And on between measures 3 and 4, or 4 and 5, excuse me, if you want to hear the phrasing, you got to lift the hand, pedal up with the hand. If you want just a speck of silence, overlap. Don't pedal this. On measure 8 here, I wouldn't pedal beats 3 and 4. Lift it up with the half note. Now pedal. Change. Lift up. Change. The last 2 measures, you can pedal all that. Just run it all together. Just run it all together. That's my impression of the pedal. It's just not so blurry. Ultimately, it's up to you and what you like to hear and that, but don't get lazy and just pedal everything. Because when you do that, you stop listening. You're not really listening to the music. You're just kind of listening to whatever comes out and okay. Something like that. Don't copy me. You make it yours and you do it how you see fit. I'd like to play it with you very slowly just to check the notes in the fingering. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'll pedal it as I suggested, but we're going to go really slow here to check the notes in the fingering. That's all it's for. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1. hold 2 off. Now, there is a duet for this, the bottom of page 28. I'd like to play that, and you play what you just played, but I need you to go up an octave on the piano so it sounds better according to what they're saying. So rather than here, you just pretend middle C goes up an octave and you go up here. Play it all up here. I'll give us 4 counts, so let's play it together. A little faster than what we did. Yeah. So I'm going to go here. Not that fast? Okay. 1, 2, ready, and go, and.